He became a freed slave long before the Civil War, and Henry Wilson's legacy would live on for many years after. In the first segment of a two-part series, we take you to Wilson's home, which is still standing more than a century later.
So the white community, the black community, everybody drives in. This is an old road. This is where you came in, and this is Henry Wilson's house is standing prominently here.
Settled in 1650, the town of Galesville in southern Arundel County has unique African-American roots. This particular structure, located on the town's main street, was home to Henry Wilson.
Henry Wilson's father was born a slave and freed his son, who was also born a slave, in 1828. So by the end of the Civil War, Henry Wilson had been working as a field hand, probably in largely the same capacity he did as a slave, but now he's making money. After the end of the Civil War, because the entire economy had broken down here because it was built on the backs of slaves, a lot of the local plantations were selling off parts of their land.
In 1865, Wilson bought the first 2 acres of his property and purchased the remaining 27 acres by 1871. Historians say the land was probably part of the nearby Tulip Hill plantation, where he worked for so many years. The Wilson family lived in the home for another 100 years before it was abandoned.
Arundel County has recently acquired this property. They've been trying for 20 years, but Henry Wilson has about 100 heirs that had to be contacted and had to give approval for this acquisition. The West River Civic Association has recently acquired a large grant to stabilize the house. So what they're going to do is the rear kitchen wing is too far gone. It can't be salvaged at this point. So that's going to be taken off. In the front part of the house, they're going to try to stabilize the foundation. So what they're going to do is actually lift up the house, put a new foundation on, and then drop the house back down on top of it. And that's stage 1. Stage 2 is going to be to start to do the roof and put the windows back in and do more intensive restoration.
Archaeologists also found the original well for the house. It was covered over with coal, and inside the pit was a treasure trove of artifacts.
We found this image online of what this vessel would have looked like, and it was full of hundreds of sherds of pottery, cutlery. We found spoons and knives. We found glass bottles. We also found several Indian projectile points.
The property has become a living legacy to Galesville. Wilson sold a portion of his land, which to this day is home to many descendants of the town's original African-American community. And later this month, we'll tell you about the other portion of Wilson's property, one that has become a significant part of African-American sports history.